In LA this week,
you can never forget, them not being here every special occasion that kids have.
A tribute to all 207 men and women killed in the line of duty while serving with the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm Gil Reyes with a story next.
The results are in for the Greater Los Angeles Census Count. I'm Anna Marcos. Find out what the numbers mean for those helping the homeless. Coming up.
A new airline joins at LAX, connecting the West Coast to northwestern England. I'm Rasha Goel, and that story's up next.
hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. The LAPD pays tribute to every one of their officers killed on the job over the past 100 years. Gil Reyes reports from a special service in downtown.
A ceremony at LAPD headquarters to honor fallen officers. They include Mario Navidad, killed in a shootout days before Christmas in 1996. His widow Sandra and their two children still grieve.
You can never forget, them not being here every special occasion that kids have, and he's not here to share that with them. To these days, they cry so much for their dad just not having him.
Since 1907, the Los Angeles Police Department has lost a total of 207 men and women, all of them killed in the line of duty. Their names etched on the memorial wall right behind me.
I just try to raise my kids the best I could, being a single parent. But right now that they're already older and they're in college, today both of them agree and they wanted to come and share. And it's very emotional for them because they were so young. Brandon was only 4 and Melissa was 10 months old.
Indoors, a video tribute to Navidad and other LAPD officers killed on the job over the past century, including Michael Edwards, Garth Ward, and Paul Gillen. Gillen died in a helicopter crash in 1974. His widow, Marjorie, says she still hurts, though not as much.
Yes, I am, but I'm getting on with it fine. He was the love of my life.
Let us cry, but let us smile, and let us celebrate. And let us thank God for the angels who walk amongst us.
This year marks the 25th anniversary of the deaths of officers Tina Kerbrat, Charles Champ, and Gary Howe. More recently, we've mourned the losses of officers Randall Simmons, Spree DeShaw, Robert R.J. Cottle, and Joshua Cullens. The names go on. There's Nicholas Lee, Christopher Cortijo, and Roberto Sanchez. LAPD Chief Charlie Beck addresses all of their families.
Know that we will always stand with you, that we will always keep your loved ones in our heart, that we will never forget.
At LAPD headquarters, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The ceremony honoring all LAPD officers killed in the line of duty takes place every year. While Mayor Eric Garcetti is calling for a record $138 million to support the homeless as the 2016 Greater LA Homeless Count results are revealed. Anna Marcos shows us the numbers.
7 people? 7 all, yeah.
The results are out in what has been the largest and most ambitious headcount of LA's homeless population ever. The LA Homeless Services Authority, which held the January census, was able to count 100% of all areas of the city for the first time, with help from 7,500 volunteers. The census also collected more than 5,000 surveys to get a more in-depth look at the homeless population.
This count has been one of the most fantastic undertakings that I've seen us take on since I've been dealing with homelessness in the last 30 years.
Here are the results. Homelessness in LA County has spiked about 6% in the last year. On the good side, homelessness among families has dropped by 18%, while veteran homelessness has plummeted by 30%. The reason? Concentrated ongoing efforts to house those populations.
I think if we look at the veteran data, we look at the family data, we can see the impact of investment. There are rapid rehousing resources for families. We've been placing homeless veterans into housing at a rate of 10 a day for a year now.
Organizers say we must make the same kind of focused effort to house other homeless populations as LA faces a growing crisis, rising poverty, a high cost of living, a tight rental market, and a high rate of mental and substance abuse problems among the homeless.
The government should put forth money to help the homeless more.
In our circumstances, it's me, my fiance, and my son.
And your dog?
Yeah, and my dog, and we can't find housing anywhere. And they ain't helping families because look at us here.
And it's not just on LA's Skid Row. Among other new trends in the 2016 census, the Valley is seeing a growing number of homeless. And for the first time, census takers have launched a youth count to count the number of young people on the streets.
Homelessness responds to resources. This is a fixable social problem. Where we invest, where we do it collaboratively and systemically, we see results.
For those on the street, the fixing of these so-called fixable social problems can't come soon enough. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Mayor Eric Garcettis says the census count results will help the city redirect its efforts where they are most needed. Well, the mayor also released year-end results of his landmark environmental plan as he approves tough environmental rules for 3 communities infamous for air pollution. Reyes has more.
For decades, 3 communities may have inhaled more traffic and industrial pollution than any other areas in our city. They are Boyle Heights, represented by Councilman Jose Huizar, the port community of Wilmington, overseen by Councilman Joe Buscaino, and the Pacoima Sun Valley area. That's Councilmember Nuri Martinez's turf.
And even today, I live in Sun Valley, a community that is overburdened with diesel trucks and landfills and waste.
If we are all created equal, then all communities deserve equal protection.
Today, a big step. Mayor Eric Garcettis signs the Clean Up, Green Up ordinance, forcing new and expanding businesses in these mostly low-income Latino neighborhoods to follow stricter environmental rules, like placing buffer zones between new factories and homes to reduce exposure. But some industry groups say laws already exist to protect the air, and this new measure could threaten new development by creating, quote, enormous obstacles for anyone wanting to expand in those 3 communities. Councilman Huizar disagrees.
It's not additional regulations. This is moving in partnership with our business community and making things better for everyone. Businesses will now be able to see what incentives are available for them to clean their operations and put less contaminants in the air.
Huizar represents Boyle Heights, which has endured decades of lead exposure from the now shuttered Exide battery plant. Part of his plan would require enhanced air filters in all new homes within 1,000 feet of freeways.
I grew up next to 2 freeways in the San Fernando Valley. My parents have survived cancer 6 times between them, and on our street we had a cancer cluster back in the days even before unleaded gas. We know the effect, and we have to change the impact of what our transportation system does to our bodies.
Mayor Eric Garcettis also took time to release the first ever yearly results of his city plan, goals to make LA cleaner and greener. Since last year, the city has reduced water use by 19%, that's faster than expected, and has already surpassed its goal of 1,000 available electric car charging stations. For LA This Week, I'm Gil Reyes.
The city has also reached its goal of at least 50% electric vehicle purchases over the past year. Well, the wait is almost over as the highly anticipated Metro Line extension to Santa Monica gets ready to open on May 20th. Rasha Goel has more as city leaders came out for a test run.
Thanks to a $1.5 billion light rail expansion project from Culver City to downtown Santa Monica, Angelenos will now have passenger rail transit service to the west side.
This is really about delivering the promise. I think a lot of people thought we couldn't do something like this in the car capital of America, but it's on time.
The 6.6-mile extension of the light rail line is expected to ease traffic on the congested west side. It completes the 15-mile Expo line between downtown Los Angeles and Santa Monica.
It's going to give tens of thousands of people every single day an opportunity to commute without being stuck in gridlock.
This is a big hole that is filled in our transit system. We're getting closer to the point where you can get almost anywhere without having to get in your car. And I think once that happens, traffic is going to dramatically improve.
The trains will run every 12 minutes each day. There are 7 new stations, 3 with park and ride facilities.
The smoothest, quickest 12 minutes from Culver City to Santa Monica I've ever had.
This marks the first time passenger trains have run from downtown LA to the Pacific Ocean in 6 decades. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Now it'll take Metro riders about 45 minutes to get from downtown LA to Santa Monica. Well, the city of LA is hiring and wants U.S. veterans and other select groups to apply first. Reyes reports on the mayor's executive directive to fill thousands of civil service jobs.
The city braces for a shortage of workers. Within 2 years, nearly half of civilian employees hired by the city, like tree trimmers, will be eligible for retirement. At the same time, many positions remain unfilled following layoffs from the Great Recession. But now a plan.
Rebuilding that workforce, bringing services back to our constituents, and finally beginning to restore the kind of government service that our constituents deserve.
LA City leaders gathered outside City Hall for the signing of Mayor Eric Garcettis' executive directive. It sets a goal of hiring 5,000 new civilian workers over the next 3 years, now that the recession is behind us. It also instructs city departments to prioritize the disadvantaged when hiring.
Communities like our unsheltered, communities like formerly incarcerated Angelenos, veterans, and our disconnected youth, those youth between 16 and 24 who are not in school but don't have jobs.
The directive builds on the city's new contract with the coalition of LA City unions. They represent tree trimmers, 911 dispatchers, crossing guards, and so much more. Many of those positions were cut during the economic downturn of 2008. The executive directive seeks to restore many of those jobs.
And I'm also very supportive of how this executive directive to managers emphasizes an attempt to move part-time workers to full-time whenever practical. That's something I've been calling for us to change since I got here.
The directive calls on nonprofits, universities, and religious groups to seek out those disadvantaged job seekers and refer them to positions. Outside City Hall, Reyes for LA This Week.
Outreach to help fill those city jobs will be conducted by groups like the Watts Gang Task Force and Inner City Struggle. While renovations continue at LAX as new airline routes are added to enhance the passenger experience. Rasha Goel has more on the latest airline flying in.
After a 22-year hiatus, Thomas Cook Airlines is now operating out of LAX. The airline offers a direct flight from northwestern England to the West Coast. LAX recently celebrated the inaugural flight.
Manchester is LAX's third United Kingdom with non-stop air service. The route will help meet the growing demand of travelers between our two cities that share cultural, academic, and economic ties that benefit both cities.
For example, every time the Thomas Cook aircraft lands here in Los Angeles, it injects at least $250,000 every time, every landing, into the local economy.
Thomas Cook Airlines will fly from Los Angeles to Manchester, England, offering a way for travelers to get into northwestern England faster.
Normally I go through Heathrow and there's usually a 4 or 5 hour layover just to get back to Manchester. So I've been waiting for this flight for like over 30 years.
The service is fantastic, I love it, and we keep coming back to them every year.
Currently, Thomas Cook Airlines offers 2 flights a week and is a seasonal flight which will only operate until October, but it will return next spring and give passengers an opportunity to choose from more flight options.
But it's very much the model of Thomas Cook Airlines to put on more service in the second season.
Thomas Cook Airlines is the largest transatlantic airline out of Manchester. From LAX, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Officials say Thomas Cook Airlines is the largest transatlantic airline to fly out of Manchester. While taking a few crucial steps could ensure better odds of survival for you and your family in a large-scale emergency. Anna Marcos shows us a South LA community is doing just that as the city takes part in America's annual Preparathon event.
In a real-life mass disaster, chances are your community may see few of these guys the real-life firefighters, and a lot more of these, CERTs, or Community Emergency Response Teams. Regular citizens like you and me, trained by LA firefighters to jump into action when disaster strikes.
In a large-scale emergency, your infrastructure is going to be destroyed. Your water mains will be blown up in the street. Your roads will be impassable. It may be hours, days, or a week, and that's why we tell people, be prepared to be able to survive on your own.
Volunteers in South LA got practice doing just that as the City of LA's Emergency Management Department and residents teamed up to take part in America's Preparathon, a mass national event where volunteers run drills on what to do in an emergency.
It's a simulated earthquake, and what we have here today, 7.8 magnitude earthquake.
We know that our city has 4 million people in it, and our first responders can't come and rescue them right after a disaster.
So neighbors took care of neighbors. They set up a triage and treatment area to take care of the dead and wounded, and they even set up an animal care center for stranded animals.
That's where we really save lives, is the initial response.
Officials say all residents, even those with no training, can help save lives if they practice the 5 steps to neighborhood preparedness. Identify an area in your neighborhood that you can adopt, such as your street or apartment building. Recruit a leader. Scout your area so you know where the dangers and hazards are in an emergency. Build a team with your family and neighbors and map out a plan for what to do when disaster strikes.
It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when we have an earthquake of this magnitude. Right now, USGS predicts that there's a 99% chance of a 6.7 or greater earthquake.
It's really cool when you see a community take it upon themselves to educate themselves.
Officials say at least half of all residents are totally unprepared for what to do if a disaster were to hit. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
For more information on how you can get prepared, visit 5stepsla.com or ready.gov. Well, one city agency teams with the White House to help youth in the projects plug into the digital age. Gil Reyes has part 1 of a special report. Gil.
Yes, Yana, the city agency that oversees this newscast, as well as LA City View Channel 35, has partnered with several entities once again to deliver computers to low-income families, this time targeting low-income housing communities throughout the city of Los Angeles.
Christian Blankenship takes home his family's first ever home computer, and it's free. He and his younger brother live in the Rancho San Pedro housing project.
But he went up to me just the other day talking about I can't read, I don't know how to read, I don't know how to get on the internet, I don't know how to look up things, and this is a big opportunity for him. I'm gonna set it home. I'm going to teach him all about it. He's going to do it in school. Because, we live in projects, like there's a lot of bad things that happen here.
Many young people in this public housing facility by the LA waterfront struggle through life, struggle through school. One reason is the lack of computers in the home for schoolwork and other necessities.
It is super expensive right now, so I think it will be a good idea for this program to continue to strive.
This program is called Kinect Home, an effort by the Obama administration to provide free computers to kids and families in public housing. Families also receive discounted internet access, around $100 for the hookup device. This provides 4 free years of broadband through Sprint. In the city of LA, 500 families living in public housing have benefited since February.
So we've gone to Ramona Gardens, we've gone to Nickerson Gardens, we've gone to Avalon, we've gone to Gonzaga, now at Rancho San Pedro, as well as Pico.
The Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles received the computers from the OurCycle LA pilot program. Launched more than a year ago, OurCycle took thousands of outdated city computers and instead of throwing them away, repaired them for disadvantaged families. The city's Information Technology Agency, or ITA, led this effort with support from LA Mayor Eric Garcetti and City Council President Herb Wesson. In fact, Mayor Garcetti helped hand out around 800 computers to families in Koreatown and Baldwin Village during the initial rollout.
To help the low-income family individual to get connected to the internet, to improve their quality of life, to help them get access to better education, healthcare.
While also reducing environmental waste, as many of these computers, useless to the city after a systems upgrade, could have ended up in landfills. And there's another benefit, job creation. The city had hired the new nonprofit group Human IT to do the repairs. And since then, Human IT has grown, adding 6 full-time staffers to handle the increased workload. New clients include USC.
Because of OurCycle LA, we've been able to get business from local companies and actually companies all across the country. We also got to teach a lot of 100 different volunteers as well as 7 youth around Boyle Heights the vocation of computer repair. And then this is just the last stage of it, which is giving it away to families, which is the best stage in my opinion.
Like you said, vital. It's a tool that everyone needs. I mean, I can't even explain how appreciated I am.
I definitely appreciate whoever started this program, and I'll be down to volunteer for them too.
Helping to bridge the digital divide. In San Pedro, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Around 80 families from Rancho San Pedro alone received computers. While authorities close in on a major drug operation on Skid Row, a new alliance between the public and private sectors offers job opportunities for those with criminal records, and LADWP opens 3 public trails at Owens Lake. All these stories in Citybeat. A major drug bust by the LAPD, local and federal agencies led to the arrests of 19 drug dealers for selling heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamines on Skid Row. Wiretaps, surveillance, and undercover officers were used in the year-long investigation. Almost $2 million, including $600,000 of $1 bills, was seized. Mayor Eric Garcettis joined Chief Charlie Beck to say the operation helped remove a large number of drug dealers who prey on the most vulnerable.
This is about changing a neighborhood. This is one of the many steps that will have to be taken before we can make sure that the heart of this city is as pure as it can be.
Mayor Eric Garcettis launched a Blue Ribbon Commission on Employment Equity, an alliance of private and public sector employers committed to providing opportunities for people who have been historically excluded from jobs that offer career advancement, including those individuals who have been formerly incarcerated. Commission members have agreed to voluntarily refrain from criminal record inquiries until a conditional offer of employment is extended, refrain from asking job applicants about their credit history, and actively work to develop recruitment and policies for populations that have been historically unemployed, including those with criminal records.
And to give people those entry-level jobs on the way up on the ladder, whether it's that cleaning the floor and the toilets that eventually allows you to train solar installers, or whether it's here, somebody who can help us by fixing sidewalks and one day get a city pension and a middle-class job. It's an unprecedented opportunity.
The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power recently joined officials to celebrate the grand opening and ribbon cutting of the Owens Lake Trails, which officials say aim to enhance public access, recreation, and wildlife habitat at Owens Lake while educating visitors about LADWP's dust control efforts on the lake bed. The Owens Lake Trails features 3 trail areas with a total of 4 miles of walking paths, overlook areas, and land art installations. The effort is part of LADWP's Owens Lake Dust Mitigation Program, initiated in 2001. It has mitigated 96% of dust emissions from Owens Lake to date, according to officials. Complete mitigation is expected by 2017. Well, it's out with the old and in with the new, as a new program is helping residents not only cut their energy use, but save some money too. Rich Samuels has more.
It's new, good size, quieter, it's clean, brand new. I like it.
James Sebastian is happy about his brand new refrigerator, one of 177 new energy-efficient units, recently provided free of charge to residents at Fame Corporation's low-income housing.
This will help low-income families to save at least $60 annually on their utility bills.
The opportunity to create greener, more environmentally friendly apartment complexes grew out of Fame's involvement in LADWP's Community Partnership Program, which provides education on reducing energy and water usage to residents of the 8th Council District.
What's so fantastic about this program is LADWP is really reaching out to low-income communities to be part of the conservation effort, but simultaneously they're helping those low-income individuals improve their quality of life and receive benefit from the community.
The LADWP's Refrigerator Exchange program partnered with ARCA, the Appliance Recycling Centers of America, to complete the replacement process. This is Rich Samuels for LA This Week.
The new energy-efficient refrigerators use half as much electricity as older models. Well, a 5K run that'll have you covered in all the colors of the rainbow. Tour a legendary music studio as it opens its doors to the public for the first time in 6 decades. And a day of music and games that's perfect for the whole family. All this in this week's Things to Do. Also known as the happiest 5K on the planet and the most colorful event this May, the Color Run in Los Angeles is taking place on Saturday, May 21st. The Color Run partners with a charity event at each location, and in Los Angeles, they are working with Back on My Feet, a nonprofit that uses running to help the homeless in changing their lives, and Children's Hospital Los Angeles. So get your old white t-shirt ready and don't miss your chance to get covered in orange, pink, blue, and yellow paint on this exciting 5K run. What better way to give back and have fun? The event starts at Dodger Stadium on Saturday, May 21st. For more, visit thecolorrun.com. If you're into music production and have ever wondered how Capitol Studios, which has hosted recording artists such as Frank Sinatra to the Beastie Boys, makes its magic, wonder no more. Created in 1956 and for the first time in 60 years, Capitol Studios is opening their doors to the public. This is a chance to hear stories and witness the place where many recording artists who have created your favorite tunes made their music. Tours will be held in the studio and there will also be a vinyl fair Saturday, May 21st. For more information, visit capitolstudios.com. Calling all Southern California moms, here's an event that is fun for the whole family. The 3rd annual Great Big Family Play Day in Los Angeles only happens once a year and features a day full of face painting, games, crafts, and event meet and greets with your children's favorite characters. Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter Lisa Loeb will be performing in a nursery rhyme parade, and the day will also include hula hoop dancers and a number of performances. You won't want to miss this day full of music and family fun on Sunday, May 22nd at the Autry Museum of American West. The event starts at 9:30 a.m. and closes at 4. For details, visit greatbigfamilyplayday.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.